Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the final edition of NoDQ&A video until WWE Battleground this Sunday, live on the WWE Network. NoDQ.com has got you covered with all the latest news, rumors, and live results coverage. And there's a lot to talk about. A lot of news, a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all that. And I will be discussing some of those topics right now. Here on NoDQ&A video, got your questions from spring.me/Aaron Rift. First one today comes from The Stooge Abides. Hey Aaron, been watching NoDQ&A video since episode 1. With the rumor regarding a possible appearance from The Undertaker at Battleground, what do you see coming of this? A match in the near future, a network subscriber ploy, or early build for WrestleMania? There's been a lot of speculation about The Undertaker in recent days. I think it all started when a picture surfaced online of him working out in the gym, and it's not like your typical post-WrestleMania photo of The Undertaker where he looks really old and he looks like your average grandpa. He looks like a guy who's getting in tip-top shape for something. And really there's only one thing that he can be getting in shape for, and that's getting back in the ring. I do not think that he would be coming back to build up WrestleMania unless there's going to be a match at Summerslam and then that builds up to WrestleMania. If Undertaker appears at Battleground or appears at Raw the next night, people are going to want to see him at SummerSlam in a match. So I'm assuming he's coming back for a match at SummerSlam. Is it going to be against Brock Lesnar? Is it going to be against Bray Wyatt again? Who knows? But it does seem like Undertaker will be coming back for one more match, or maybe even a series of matches. Who knows? I mean, it all depends on Undertaker and if he wants to have one more run. That is something that I feel is entirely up to him. And if he wants to come back, WWE will bring him back, and they'll be happy to do it. More than happy to do it. Definitely a way to try and boost subscribers as well to the network by bringing back The Undertaker. And, there's also the talk about Undertaker and Sting. And there's a lot of speculation about Sting coming back at SummerSlam as well. Got this question here from Down and Dirty Duck. If Undertaker does return, how do you like the idea of Undertaker and Sting in a trilogy at SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania? Not really a fan of a trilogy. Sting and Undertaker is the type of match that is only needed to be done once. It's a novelty match. What makes it special is the fact that they are two major superstars from the past several decades finally going face-to-face, one-on-one, and having a match. After you do the first match, it's not special anymore. There's really no value in a rematch between these two, and certainly no value in doing a trilogy. Undertaker and Sting also with their ages, doing a trilogy is just too much. It's best, if you're going to do Undertaker and Sting, to do it one time. And will that match happen at WrestleMania? Will it happen at SummerSlam? Or will it not happen at all? Got this question here from King MJD. Hello, Aaron. Do you think Sting coming to the WWE was a mistake? He lost his first match, and now it looks like Vince isn't even considering Taker and Sting at WrestleMania 32. Maybe Sting's legacy would have been better if it didn't include WWE. Well, I think Sting made the right decision coming to WWE. I just think he made it perhaps too late. He probably should have come back several years earlier. Maybe he should have come back in 2011 when there was all this buzz about Sting and The Undertaker having a match. But I can understand why he waited for so long, because he was making good money in TNA and being able to work a part-time schedule. I don't blame him for milking that as long as he possibly could. And then eventually go into WWE, go into the Hall of Fame, and do the DVDs, do all the merchandise, and be able to collect on that. So I definitely feel going to WWE was the right decision. I feel WWE hasn't exactly utilized him, in my opinion, to the best of their abilities. I don't feel he should have lost at WrestleMania 32, or 31, excuse me. I do feel WWE should do Undertaker and Sting, but maybe Vince isn't a big fan of doing that match at WrestleMania 32. Maybe he doesn't see Sting as a credible enough opponent for Undertaker. Who knows? That very well could be the case, or maybe it's just Vince doesn't want either guy to lose against each other in a match and just doesn't want to do it. I still hope they do it because that is what fans want to see. I got this question here from WWE Kane 1985. Hey Aaron, do you think Sting and Taker won't happen at WrestleMania due to Vince not being over with the idea? As I think he needs to listen to his fans, as it might be too late for the match to happen at WrestleMania 33 or 34, as it could be a huge success for WWE. Thanks. Yeah, that's the thing too. If you wait, it's less likely the match is going to happen. And the fans reacted when Sting came out the night after WrestleMania 31. Sting was in the ring and teasing what he's going to do next. The fans were all chanting Undertaker. To me, that speaks volumes. That tells you right there that is the match you need to do. Now, maybe if Vince isn't a fan of doing it at WrestleMania 32, maybe he has a different idea for Undertaker. Maybe he has a different idea for Sting. That opens up the possibility to doing it at SummerSlam, especially with all the talk about both of them being at SummerSlam. Maybe we're going to just see that match at SummerSlam, and that way Sting can win. And maybe Vince doesn't want Undertaker losing at WrestleMania again. He doesn't want him going with 2 losses. So maybe you could do this match at SummerSlam, and Sting could beat Undertaker, and it's not as big of a deal as Undertaker losing to Sting at WrestleMania in Texas. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I'm hopeful we will get Taker and Sting sooner than later. All right, this one comes from K. Goldberg. Hey Aaron, longtime viewer, first-time asker. I know that WCW made a lot of mistakes that led to their failure, but I think turning Goldberg heel was among their biggest ones. Your thoughts? Please answer in video and keep up the great work. I'm a big fan. Yeah, it was a terrible idea. Just one of many huge mistakes that WCW made. By that point, the damage was already done. The company was already going downhill. But I feel it turned off more fans, if it was even possible at that point, because Goldberg came back after being gone for several months and the crowd went nuts for him. But in typical Russo fashion, he had to swerve everybody with a heel turn that made no sense whatsoever. And it was also executed very, very poorly. Goldberg comes out and, he acts like he's going to spear Nash, but of course, or he acts like he's going to spear Jarrett, and of course he spears Nash. It was so obvious. By that point, the swerve with the heel turn had been done so many times in the past that you knew it was coming. It was lame. And, WCW didn't even really follow up on it. The Goldberg heel turn flopped big time, and a month later he was back to being a babyface. So yeah, huge mistake, and one of those examples of not listening to your audience and going against what the people want. And it's kind of funny though, because WWE basically repeated the same thing months later with the Steve Austin heel turn, not seeing how the Goldberg turn flopped, and just doing what they wanted to do, or Austin doing what he wanted to do, and it just didn't work. All right, this one comes from King Boramer 1. Hey Aaron, long-time listener and first-time asker. Should WWE change Finn Balor's finisher before he gets established on the main roster? Isn't it as dangerous a move as Seth Rollins' curb stomp? And could that be changed in the future as it's dangerous? Well, the difference between the curb stomp and Finn Balor's finisher, the double stomp, is the double stomp, it's to your chest area. And WWE just doesn't want to emphasize on moves that are done directly to the head or neck. With all the injuries and the lawsuits and everything, WWE just doesn't want to have a move like the curb stomp. Even if it's performed safely, they just don't want negative attention drawn to it. If people report on it in the media, they'll show clips of Seth Rollins doing the curb stomp, and it'll just blow up, and people say WWE's dangerous. They do these dangerous moves. So that's why WWE got rid of the curb stomp for the time being. With Finn Balor's move, people do the double foot stomp all the time. People have been doing it for years. It's nothing new. Haven't really seen it much in WWE, but in other promotions over the years, it's been done all the time, and people don't get hurt from it. So I don't think WWE would change the finisher unless somebody did get hurt from it. But up to this point, nobody has, so I don't see any need to change his finisher. I mean, it's unique. I mean, like I said, it's a move that hasn't been done in WWE. It's something you don't see that often. So why not do it so that way Finn Balor has something unique, a different move. All right, this one comes from Raw is 3MB for life. Hey Aaron, do you see WWE doing anything serious with the Ascension in the future? Do you see any NXT tag team making an impact in WWE in the next few years? Thank you. To quote Dean Ambrose, nope. I feel that the Ascension has been pushed as far as they're going to be pushed in WWE. They came in and they looked like a clone of the Legion of Doom or Demolition or any 80s tag team that looked like that with the face paint, and very quickly they were portrayed as crappy wrestlers that were pretending to be major stars when they really weren't. They were just imposters, wannabes. And that is how the WWE universe sees them as now. And I don't feel that there's anything that can really be done to change that perception. That's how fans see the Ascension, as a bunch of geeks, and I don't think any strong booking will turn that around, quite frankly. As far as NXT tag teams, at this point, I don't know, because the Ascension, they were doing really well in NXT, and then once they came on the main roster, they quickly fizzled out. It's really hard to say, because just because you're doing well in NXT doesn't mean you're going to succeed on the main roster. So there's no real way to make a decisive prediction on that. A tag team that might not be doing that well in NXT, but Vince is high on, they could be brought up and they could get a monster push on the main roster and they could do really well. There's really no way to know. All right, this one comes from Raw's War 98. Hey Aaron, could you see WrestleMania emanating in Canada again? Definitely. I think it just comes down to which city makes the highest bid. WWE likes to have various cities bid for WrestleMania, and I feel if Toronto makes a really strong bid, we could definitely see WrestleMania back in Toronto one day. I mean, there have been 2 WrestleManias at the Sky Dome. Maybe we'll get a third one down the line. There's just so many major cities that are competing to try and get WrestleMania to their city. It could be several years, but I feel in the next 10 years, we probably will get another WrestleMania in Canada, maybe Toronto, who knows, maybe even Vancouver, and any number of places. It would be nice to see WrestleMania in the Pacific Northwest again, but after WrestleMania 19 did that disappointing buy rate, we haven't seen WrestleMania in that region since, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. All right, one more question here from Jamie MLG McGuire. Hey Aaron, love your work. Could you see Paul Heyman turning on Brock Lesnar at Battleground and joining with Seth Rollins? This would help boost Seth's heel heat a lot and lead to a possible eventual split between Seth and Triple H. Please answer in video. Thanks. This is an interesting one. I feel that Paul Heyman would do well with Seth Rollins. And Brock Lesnar as a babyface now doesn't really need Paul Heyman, although Paul Heyman still does a tremendous job with the promos and putting over Brock Lesnar. But Brock Lesnar is a guy who doesn't really need to do much talking. He can just come out there and beat Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman would do well with Seth Rollins. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that is certainly another possibility. And that's one reason why Battleground's so interesting, because there's literally half a dozen ways WWE can go with that main event match, and that is a possibility, turning a way for Brock Lesnar to lose. If Brock Lesnar was to lose, it would be due to Paul Heyman turning on him. That's always a possibility. And got this question here from Wrestling Doom 95. Yo, Aaron, if Seth Rollins is defeated by Brock Lesnar, who do you see Rollins feuding with afterward, or will he get a rematch to continue his feud with Lesnar? Well, as I talked about during the predictions video, which you can check out on the YouTube channel with myself and Jeff Meacham, I don't see WWE doing a rematch, because if they do Rollins versus Lesnar Battleground and it ends in a DQ, and then you do the match again at SummerSlam, what's going to happen in that match? Because Brock Lesnar will probably be gone after SummerSlam. I suppose there's always a chance he'll be a Night of Champions, but WWE's going to run through his dates really quickly if they do that. So I feel that if you're going to have Brock Lesnar win the title, you can do an angle. I got in the other question, the person mentioned Triple H perhaps feuding with Seth Rollins, and that's something that's been speculated on for several weeks, that Seth Rollins and Triple H would have a match at SummerSlam. And that's another possible finish for Battleground, where you have Triple H cost Seth Rollins the title, and Brock wins, and then that sets up Triple H versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. So if Seth Rollins isn't in the main event at SummerSlam, logic would tell you Triple H, they've been teasing a split between Triple H and Seth Rollins took out Kane, took out J&J. Or didn't take out J&J, Brock did that. But, there's been all this dissension amongst the authority, and, that makes logical sense to eventually do that match. So that'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe at youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and I will see you guys next time.